Okay, so I haven't made a video about this particular topic because it's kind of sensitive to me. Not for the fact that because Simone is an Olympic hero, American hero at this point, just a hero in general. Mainly because of what she has overcame and where she has started from. It's just the fact that on a personal level, I can relate having a deadbeat mother, birth mother, who doesn't come around until she needs something. And let me go into more details about that. Now, as you all most likely have seen already, that when it comes to Simone Biles, her mother has been interviewed saying that she wanted to essentially reconnect with her daughter. So let's go ahead and play that right quick.
How do you handle the fact that this is brought up every 4 years?
I'm over it already. I can't keep dwelling on it. Whenever she's ready, and I'm here. I want her to be able to come to me and say, okay, let's have a sit down, because there's some things I want to know. So I just have to have patience. I want to let her know that I love her. I'm very proud of her, but I'm just still waiting, I would like to sit down and talk to you and answer any questions you may have. I don't know what you've been told, but I want you to hear the real deal. I was an addict. I will always be an addict. But there's just a way that you have to learn how to stay away from people, places, and things, and change your routine, and just change your life. Live your best life. If I need to know anything, I'll call my dad. Hey, Dad, what's going on with Simone? How's everybody doing? He keeps me posted.
So you don't have like a direct number that you can even reach out to her?
I do, but I won't.
Why not?
Good question. Why not?
I want her to reach out to me. She's 27 now. She's married. I would like to have been a part of that, but I just have to wait for her.
And realistically speaking, she doesn't deserve to be a part of that in any way, shape, or form. Now, and the reason I say I can relate to that on a personal level, that I didn't have it as bad as Simone, right? However, though, my mother personally was not around growing up, and about the time I was 16, I went out to find her, and let's just say I was disappointed in what I found, even to the point I had to stop talking to her again because she tried to use me for money, in the sense that she wanted me to co-sign for her for a house. When I was like 18 years old and I went out to go find her when I was 16, and I remember growing up, my dad would tell me, don't worry about it. I was raised by my father for the most part in my later years. He was like, don't worry about your mother. Just focus on you being a better version of yourself, and try to keep growing and going from there. I didn't understand that at first until I actually reached out and connected and met my mother. And my mother was also an addict. Also, always had all kinds of excuses and people that made excuses for her, which is what I never liked. So when I see Simone Biles' mom out here on these interviews talking about her daughter, and she wants her daughter to reach out to her and how she wished she was out to the wedding, there's a really great reason for that. That whenever you're on your own path, your path to success, it doesn't necessarily have to be to Olympic gold like I can't even say like Simone. It's just that whenever you're in your purpose, sometimes the people that are around you can keep you from that purpose. And there's an old saying that is, just because somebody's in your circle doesn't mean they're in your corner. So just because that's her birth mother, and ideally your birth mother would be in your circle of people, that doesn't necessarily mean her birth mother would be in her corner. If anything, her birth mother would have been an anchor. Because I guarantee you that she would have said all kinds of issues. Hey, I'm being evicted. I owe this person money. And I know that sounds kind of harsh saying that, but if you're an addict and you've always been an addict, and people know that your daughter is Miss Simone Biles, American sweetheart and champion, of course, people, whoever she owes money to, people she buys those substances from, they're going to use that to exploit the mother and daughter potentially. Now, granted, the father wouldn't let that happen, or I guess grandfather, he adopted her stepfather, Ron Biles. Now, Ron Biles is a man that always looks serious. In every single, I won't say every single, there was one picture I saw of him where he actually smiled. Any other picture, it's just he's always just has that stern face going on there. And he's the man that had to make the hard choices. Yes, her mother was there and strong and help support Simone in her dreams and her Olympic glory, and so was her father, because it came out recently that I read today that Shannon, Simone's birth mother, said that Ron, once he got those adoption papers, he pretty much cut her off to where she couldn't see or talk to Simone anymore. I don't blame him. If you're trying to raise a child from a troubled background, from a mother who was an addict, a girl who was put in foster care, and let's be real here, the foster care system is horrible. I have known plenty of people that just couldn't get out the lifestyle the foster care system put them in. You want to do everything you can to make sure that you rehabilitate, support, and give the confidence to raise an amazing young woman that Simone came out to be. And sometimes that means you got to cut certain people out of your life. Again, just because you're in the circle doesn't mean you're in the corner. So I have a lot of respect for Ron, and it's just not him. Just like Simone's sister, I think he has a son too, Ron II, and he has a nice, beautiful family too. This man has been strong and had to weather storms, and he gets very little credit. They always talk about Simone's mom, but the father has always been there in the corner, quiet, doing what he needed to do to keep the family together, and I respect that. You don't see that too much, but that's just what it is there. So back to the mother, switching gears back to her. Then I also read how the mother said she would take Simone's financial help, and I'll say, there it is. There it is. Even though whenever you win like an Olympic gold medal, is not that much money compared to other countries. I forgot the exact dollar amount. Maybe I'll put it in the video when I re-edit it later. I want to say it was close to $30,000. I want to say it was less than six figures. But of course, she gets all kinds of money for endorsement deals and everything else. And plus, she's a very seasoned champion, so anything that she goes through, she's going to get top dollar for on the back end that we don't know about. And she's married to an NFL player. So seeing the mom saying she would accept financial help is one of the craziest things to me. It made it seem like she was very disingenuous with what she was offering, because realistically speaking, if you're looking to reconnect with your child that you abandoned, that you chose the streets over, that you chose other men over, and now that she is fully successful and married and has a happy family, all ends, married to a successful husband, a strong family support system, you want to be a part of that. But one of the things you say is, I wouldn't turn down financial help. That's that addict mindset still coming out. And if you've ever been around an addict, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, that they always want to take. Now, to me, if you was fully recovered, now I know, like she said, that once an addict, always an addict, you gotta stay away from no sugars, yada, yada, yada. It's not really about her. But let's say if you really was truly cured or fixed or healed, or you know your triggers, the last thing you would say is, I would take her help. I would be like, well, no, I don't need anything from her. I don't want her money. I just want her time. That would have seemed more genuine. So then I see people making comments like Ricky Smiley and things like that, talking about, oh yeah, well, she should be grateful that she has a mother, blah, blah, blah. She needs to be grateful and talk to her. She has a mother. The mother who's been there at her practices, to her games. The mother is right there wearing that American flag towel. So people really need to check themselves when it comes to giving people advice, because sometimes your own family are the ones that will take you down the fastest. It's not always a stranger. It's your family members that are envious or jealous, that are overly needy, that will use you and abuse you. It may not be physical, mental. And I just don't understand why anybody will get into Simone's business and be like, yeah, you need to talk to your birth mother. No. Just like her birth mother is more concerned about her reputation, not what Simone needs. And it looks like Simone already has everything she needs. I'm pretty sure she made peace with whatever situation she had with her birth mother and let it go and moved on. She's almost 30. At that point in life, it's too late. Something like that oh yeah, well, in case you have any questions you want to hear, that only matters when you're like a teenager. You're still trying to figure yourself out. When you're trying to discover who you are. She moved on from that, obviously. And for people who have not understood that or been through that themselves and trying to tell somebody, hey, you need to go do this. And let's be real here. Her mother is essentially a cancer. Her birth mother, excuse me, is essentially a cancer in her life. Just because she left her in a bad situation doesn't mean she had to stay in a bad situation. Anyways, that was just my thought process on that. Because, you know, every single person, well, I won't say every single person, the majority of people can relate to having a family member or a parent abandon them, or you know somebody who has been abandoned by a family member. And for people to sit here and be like, well, no, this is my situation. You gotta stop looking at things from your own perspective and see things for what they really are sometimes. Just because that's your experience doesn't mean that's what everybody else is. Anyways, in a funny way, Simone's birth mother, Shannon, has made me even more proud of Simone. Because, again, she hasn't let anything hold her back. If it's not the media, the judges, now her birth mother, and she still keeps going and succeeding and winning nonstop. And she keeps winning in life. I'm not just talking about in the Olympics. I mean, even with her own family. Breaking that generational curse and finding a husband and being supportive and happy in that situation. And he is clearly happy and supportive of her. That's a beautiful thing to see. That's a champion mindset that most people aren't used to seeing. And that came from her strong parents that adopted her. So kudos to them, kudos to her, and everybody else trying to tell her to let cancer into her life are just dumb. Trying to curse on a video, but they're just dumb. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching, your support, and have a good one.